Oh, here you go. Big bass. Here's the bass. Come on, eat it. Oh, yep. Got one. Oh. How cool
Nice
was that?
trout there,
I might have got a
isn't it,
trout out of it.
Nice trout.
Hang on, we're not done yet. Go forward, go forward. Oh. No.
The AFN Fishing Show goes off with a bang this week, bringing the challenge to Nomad fishing guide Andrew Harvey as we explore the Great Barrier Reef and discover just what it takes to be a guide in these beautiful waters.
We're out in the waters of the Great Barrier Reef off Cairns, and we've hooked up with the guys from Nomad Sport Fishing. Tomorrow we're fishing with guide Andy and one of the clients. Andy's expecting a normal day on the water. We're just about to go upstairs and find him and throw a little challenge his way that just might upset the apple cart. Let's go and find him. Andrew.
Nige.
Welcome to the guides table.
Thank you.
All we want to do is find out what it's like to be a guide, a little bit of the background stuff, but on top of that we're going to throw in a little bit of a challenge. This is your mission.
You will guide the AFN crew and a Nomad client for a day. You have to attend to the needs of your client and you have to help Nige catch 3 different species of fish on the one type of lure, of which there are only 4 lures. If Nige fails to catch 3 species, then you walk the gangplank off the Mothership Odyssey. If Nige catches 5 species, then cameraman Dave washes the dishes for the crew. Accepted.
You don't know what the lures are yet.
I don't need to.
Some classic blue water surface lures, 163s.
That will do the job. Deal.
Deal?
Deal.
We'll see you bright and early. Good luck.
Started as the deckhand on Odyssey and just looked like such an awesome job to be a guide. Like just being able to do what you love every day, waking up, watching like someone come from Melbourne who's never seen the Great Barrier Reef or never fished on the surface for GTs and stuff, and just seeing how excited they are when they get to experience what we see every day.
It's a little bit earlier than Andy planned on waking up. We thought we'd start his day with a little bit of a surprise. He's sound asleep at the moment, and the other guides on board tell us with good authority he doesn't like getting up too early. Let's shake him up a little bit. Andy, it's time to go fishing. Chef's up, mate. Let's go.
There wouldn't be many downsides of being a guide. I guess it would be the slow days fishing, just feeling the pressure, having 3 people who are paying a lot of money and really putting a lot of trust in you to get them the fish of a lifetime and not being able to do it. Yeah, you also get a few annoying clients who decide it's a good idea to come and wake you up extra early to go for a morning fish.
The challenge day has begun a little bit earlier for Andy than he might have planned, but we're out here. We've got 4 of the Blue Water 163 rocker poppers. Challenge today, Andy's got to help me catch 3 different species, hopefully 5 for a bonus point. Same time he's got to look after Rob. He's here to catch some fish. Andy has a plan in mind, he hasn't shared it with us yet. I can see some flats in the distance, so I think I might know what's in mind, but we're about to hit the water. Let's see just how the lad goes. We might have set Andy a bit of a tough challenge. It's not often a client comes on board with a guide and says, I've only got 4 of this one type of lure, catch me 3 different species of fish and hopefully 5. One thing I've done is put a little bit back in his favour in the way I brought along a really versatile lure. It's a Blue Water 163 rocket popper. It's probably the transition lure between the big cup face poppers and the stick baits. So it does make a really fluttery surface disturbance. So it looks the part of a fleeing bait fish. You can also pop it and pause it really nicely so you can use a few different retrieves which work well on various different predators. So I can use that really fast retrieve on the faster pelagics like your mackerel, bloop it and pop it a little bit for my GTs. And up on the flats I can use a really discreet, subtle retrieve for your reef species like your bass and your trout and stuff like that. So all being well, we'll come up with a good plan. Hopefully put some fish on board. Keep Andy out of trouble. Yep. Trouble.
In love the goods.
There's so much reef down there, man. Oh, we're bumping reef. No, I think we're gonna have to go in after him, mate. No, I'm in the reef. I'm in the reef. Far out.
With one lure gone and no fish to show for it, can the boys turn their luck around, or will Andrew be walking the plank?
Yep. Trouble.
It looked the goods.
There's so much reef down there, man. Oh, we're bumping reef. No, I think we're gonna have to go in after him, mate. No, I'm in the reef. I'm in the reef. Far out.
Mid-morning, and we'd seen a few fish but hadn't managed to stick the hooks in one, and Nige put in a bit of a Hail Mary into some bommies, and a big GT came out and smoked us into the reef and took our first lure. Starting to feel pretty nervous.
And there comes the first part of our problem. We only have 4. Now we have 3.
Oh, big Spaniard.
Oh no.
He'll come back.
Here he comes.
He's still there, GT.
Oh, big Spaniard. Woo.
Big Spaniard airborne.
Just off camera there, we've had an explosive airborne Spaniard strike, big fish, good 12 kilo sort of job. And I was probably pretty fortunate because he came at me with the lure, I lost all weight. Had him connected for a short while, but I think it was probably fortunate because the line's looking a little bit worse for wear. He's giving it a good old chomp. Got the adrenaline going. There's nothing better than those big aerial surface strikes. That's what we're here for. We've had a bit of interest. Just got to have a few stay connected. I'll retie this leader and get straight back in there.
I thought I had it in the bag. Last night I was laying in bed going, oh, you know, 5 species, I'll do that easy. I'll have it nailed by lunch. And yeah, it hadn't quite happened yet.
This morning's been a classic case of the fish that did get away, and it's got to be a guide's lament. They do all the things right, good plan, make sure lures go in the right place, and then just a simple case of fish falling off. Fish get into a reef and you're saying what could have been. As this tide started to drop, Andy's got a new plan. We've gone away from fishing edges. We're now up into some coral flats, so we're fishing in 1 to 3, 4, 5 metres of water, hoping to find a whole bunch of different species up here from pelagics to the reef ones. We've got the poppers at work again, see if we can start notching up some species. Andy's not quite twitchy yet, but he did look at me a little bit nastily about those lost fish on the way over, so time to make amends.
Around all these deeper holes here, there should be plenty of fish holding just on the edges of these bommies and that, waiting for some little bait fish to swim by. I'll just line you up and we'll just sort of do a bit of a drift through these deeper holes.
Oh, here we go, something going. Fish on, yep, fish on.
Nice one, Nige.
What have we got?
Playing the game.
What do you reckon he is, Andy?
Oh, it looks like a bluefin trevally.
Yeah. Had to be some predator sitting around those. I reckon one of the prettiest species of trevally, Andy.
Oh, for sure.
Spike him in. Ooh, Andy's gone. That's one. We're a little bit happy about that. He's thought he's had lunch on the menu. Got a little rocket popper instead. Aren't they splendid looking fish? Look at the iridescent blues on that. I love catching these fish. They might not get as big and nasty as their cousin, the giant trevally, but in terms of looks, this is the Elle Macpherson of the trevally bunch. I show my age saying that. Oh,
Keep going. He's going for that bommy.
go rub.
Don't give him anything, mate. Good job. There you go. Good job, mate. You. Just stuck by my plan, knew what I was going to do, knew we were going to find some fish. The crew believed in me. We went into this blue hole and it just turned on, and yeah, it felt really good to just start nailing a few fish.
After a rough start, the fish are starting to bite. But can the crew catch enough to stay out of the water?
Oh, here you go, big bass. Here's the bass. Come on, eat it. Oh, yep, got one. Oh. How cool
Nice
was that?
trout there,
I might have
isn't
got a
it,
trout out of it.
Nice trout.
Hang on, we're not done yet. Go forward, go forward. Oh. No.
Got him out.
Oh. Far out. Yes. Bail arm off. One of the truly pretty fish of the reef, Andy. Absolute battle every step of the way. They very often do in those first 3 or 4 metres.
It was close.
And on top of that, one of the more tasty species you'll find on the reef. The chef aboard Nomad, Sammy, said to us, today boys, just come home with a coral trout. I reckon this will be dinner for you and I.
I think so.
We might share it with some of the other boys. The good news is, we've still got 3 lures and this is number 2.
Oh,
you've got to be getting a little bit more relaxed now.
I am. The pressure's off a little bit. There's plenty of fish in here, so I'm feeling quietly confident.
Coral Flats fishing at its best. We're just casting to darker patches and then working lures out into the deeper stuff, and that little edge fishing, no different to when we're in the deeper water. It's the same principle. Put the popper in the right place, skitter it out, and hold on when they come around. All right, let's get going, mate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, here's one.
DT.
No, go. I've got to get him out. Get him out. Is that a bass? Oh yeah.
Bass.
That's a bass. Here you go. This could be off the hook here.
Could be it.
So get off your guide seat and put it in the boat. Flip him in.
Flip him in.
Yeah, baby. Such great predators.
Oh mate, they're an insane fight.
Very close cousins of the mangrove jack. Bite, just as hard, fight just as hard. Love bashing lures that come into their space.
Oh, man.
And that little thing skidded about a metre and there was just stuff all over it. I don't think it gets a whole lot better. Any form of surface fishing, when you can see things come up and bash a lure, it's just so very cool to do it. In a setting like this, having such a variety of species coming and eating a lure,
that's it.
I can kind of see why you come back and probably why you work here.
Yeah, pretty much. Good work, Rob. Nice job, fish, mate. Put up a good fight.
Woo! That's awesome, Andy, mate. That's my first job fish. Thank you.
It's a beautiful fish, mate. See how well camouflaged they are. If you look around, you can see the blue. It's almost identical to the blue of the job fish. They're a serious predator in these blue holes. So a lot of people would probably think you need all the gear to come out here and catch all these fish, but as you saw today, Nige used the same lure all day on 2 different rods. One was a 40-pound light spin outfit with a 5,000 reel on it, and the other was a little bit heavier popping outfit, I think about a 70-pound with a 10,000 on it. And yeah, that's all you need, really.
Oh, what's that? Beat it, beat it. Oh, no! Oh! Yep, that's a GT. Oh. Go that way. Oh, look at it. The size of the thing, man. Versus man, this thing hasn't woken up yet. Oh, look at that.
What is that?
Oh,
Groper.
it's a groper with it.
Groper wants to eat the boat.
Yeah, getting cranky, just reverses. Reverse. I spotted him, saw the shapes, saw a big pack of dark shoulders come off a ledge in one of these holes in the shallows, and we thought that has to be a GT. Ew! Oh yes, coming your way, Andy. They annihilated that popper.
Mate, how cool was that?
There's nothing better than when you see a pack of fish fighting for one lure. You know your odds are getting up there.
Well in our favour.
Well in our favour. Not much of the popper left there, mate.
Look at that. He's absolutely annihilated it.
Number 4.
Good job.
Number 4. One of the bullies of the reef and such a good candidate for the surface lure. It was a case of just finding them today. They've had one close call. One's taken one of our lures. They had to be in here somewhere. There we go. It's a little classic 163, little blue water rocket popper. He's doing the job today. And he is ready to go. Thanks for the entertainment, gents. One more, and Dave's still in the dishes. Sound like a good idea, Dave?
Andrew's safe, but can the boys catch enough species to leave cameraman Dave washing the dishes? Stay tuned to find out.
When you're using these medium-sized poppers, the retrieve is very, very easy, and they're really neat to use because they don't wear you out. They've got a relatively small popping face, so you don't have to work too hard when you use them. There's a few variations on the retrieve, and it's dictated by the type of species you're chasing. For those bigger pelagics, put it into the spot where you think they're holding. You can either keep the rod tip high and just wiggle it across the top for a little while, give it a pause, or you can quickly skid it across the top by dropping the rod to horizontal, working the reel fast, keep those pauses thrown in. That's very often when the fish will eat. If, however, you want to chase some of your smaller species around the reef, pays to put it into the right spot again, and then dropping your rod tip and slowly ticking that rod side to side. You'll get that popping side to side action, put in your pauses, and let the fish then dictate the retrieve. If you see them come up and you see they like the pause more often. If they want speed, you can always speed it up. The beauty of these lures, extremely versatile, and they'll attempt anything with fins.
Just got a nice fish on now on the light gear. We've just pulled him out of this very shallow edge. Looks like a stonking trout. It is a stonking trout. Jurassic sized. Beautiful, mate.
Thank you.
What?
How good was that?
Mate.
Thank you.
Woo.
That was, it came back 3 times, and
You did.
just holding the nerve.
That's it. You did all the right stuff. You've been practicing all week. This is what happens
Net
when you...
result, 10 kilos.
Mate, it's an absolute beauty.
Thank you, mate.
Look at the mouth on him.
That's good.
It's scaring me, looking at me. Rob's big trout, that was really good. He just held the spool and we just drove it out of there and got it into some clear water. He was pretty stoked about that.
Ooh.
There he goes.
See you, mate. Say, righto, boys. See you next time.
He's under the boat.
Thanks for the ride. Good job.
Good job, Rob.
Thank you.
Absolute beautiful fish.
Oh, yep. Yep, yep. And
He's only small, but the species is what counts.
talking specifically to my cameraman now, do you want to know the bad news or the good news, Dave? The good news is that Andy's got 5. 5 different species. Bad news is you need to get out your dishwashing hands because they're going to get wet tonight. Oh, and a special fish too, Andy. Come up here. This was Andy's idea. Andy said just before we head out to the outer edge and chase some of the pelagics like your mackerel, we'll just have a look at these drains. The last bit of water's ebbing out, so it's a great place for fish to sit here, grab a feed before the slack tide. And mate, that's one of our really special reef fish. They get a whole lot bigger than this.
Oh yeah, yep.
But the gear I'm using, I'm kind of glad that he's this size.
Me too.
And the neat thing is he's number 5. Bad luck, Dave-o.
Bad luck, Dave-o. Oh, there's a lot of memorable moments from today. I'd have to say just the amount of surface strikes, big coral trout, GTs in super shallow water, 2 fish on 1 lure. Oh, it's too many to name.
This is something you probably don't come across all the time, Andy. I know that the fishing can be a bit insane out here. And you throw a popper there, I've got rid of one. There goes our blue trevally. They grabbed one end of a popper, and then this dirty great trout tried to grab the other side.
Been a lot of big trout around today, Nige.
Oh, you grab that, mate. I'm going to.
Easy, right.
Oh, come up the front here. It's a pretty impressive way to end a day on the water, Andy.
It is, mate,
We have
it is.
played with so many fish, and I think one of the coolest ways possible on surface.
Oh,
I've got, this is the last lure.
it is.
The others have gone down to what we call Great Barrier Reef attrition. They've been eaten and are long gone, and this one has certainly shown the signs, but versatility, such a great thing to have on your side. If you want to come to these places, it's a long way to lug tackle. You might as well have some lures and a couple of outfits that'll do a whole lot of things. So lures like this are certainly worth taking along. And mate, you survived the guides challenge
I know.
with bonus.
I'm pretty stoked about that.
And we got dinner at the same time.
Oh yeah.
I reckon time to head back to the Odyssey, well-earned beer, and get Dave ready for chores after dinner.
Duties.
Challenge done, mate. You've
Good
done the guides thing. Dave
Pretty
washing the
stoked.
dishes, and you've come through with the goods. Mate, thanks from Rob and I. It's been an awesome day.
No, mate. It's a pleasure.
Where's that boat going?
It's Bill Klassen here from The Fishing Show, and if you like this instructional video and want to learn more, it's simple. Go to fishingshowtv.com.au and see a whole host of additional videos.